We'll go ahead and call the September meeting of the Visual Resources Review Board to order. The first item on the agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes from the August 25th meeting. Do we have any discussion on those minutes from August 25th? There's no discussion. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item number 2 has been moved to the October meeting. Is that correct? All right. Item number 3 then is the wall signs that have been approved from the last meeting until now, which was 1, Premier Martial Arts. Any questions from the board or comments, Ashley, on Premier Martial Arts?
Have the permit if anyone likes to see it. It's right there beside Papa Murphy's in that smaller space right there
That's
that's
exactly where it was going to be.
currently vacant. Yep.
Right.
All right then, moving on to the ground-mounted sign applications. The first one,
Lights on. Are we going to use these?
and that's right, the monitors are not on. We just need to. Okay.
There we go. I never even noticed they weren't on.
It helps to have visuals, doesn't it?
There it is, okay. All right, so the first item then is Dickeys barbecue pit.
Yes, sir. This is a tenant panel on the existing ground-mounted sign there that you all looked at a couple months back and actually have looked at Men's Warehouse. Here's actually the existing as it exists today, and then they're proposing this panel here. Staff questions if the Dickeys maybe should be black to be compatible with the Best Buy lettering and the Men's Warehouse. Oh, my apologies. The Men's Warehouse lettering, and then allowing the color, whether they want it to be yellow or red, around the barbecue pit, if that's their desire to have. But staff's recommendation would be to make Dickeys black to be compatible with the other tenant panels on the sign.
Is the background going to stay white, or will it be black, yellow?
No, it's going to be white.
It's going to be white.
Well, actually, the Best Buy overwhelms Dickeys. I mean, I don't even see Dickeys for a minute.
Well, and the reason I think it overwhelms it is because of the fact it is yellow. I think if it were black, because switch to that Men's Warehouse one. If you see Men's Warehouse, you can see it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think because of the color that they've chosen, the yellow in Best Buy overpowers it.
Fine, they're gonna make the argument, Best Buy sign is yellow too.
Huge.
Yeah, it's just bigger, but.
Yeah.
Still black letter.
But
Hey,
the
have you
word-
talked with them about changing the color?
We haven't talked much about this sign, but I mean, we certainly can follow up with them on it.
And then on Dickeys, they keep the red underneath.
I mean, I would think if they wanted to splash a color to be consistent with Best Buy, it could be red or yellow or whatever's legible.
I don't have a problem with it, other than the fact I think it's harder to see the way it is for them, because it does compete with the Best Buy. I mean, the Best Buy overwhelms it. And the Men's Warehouse, that's going to be there too, right? I mean, it's,
Yes, the Men's Warehouse
Up at
is
the top.
actually, I keep going the wrong
So,
way, is
you know,
existing.
yeah, so it's there, and it's going
Well,
to be,
best I remember, the Best Buy is that's their logo.
right, it is their logo. Is this one
And
their logo?
Men's Warehouse, that's what they use, just exactly that way.
What about this
So
one?
Keys,
That's their
that is
logo.
their logo, the yellow and the red,
Well, then,
that is their brand.
I think if we had said to Best Buy, just have black letters, and Men's Warehouse
so
would
then we
be,
need to let it stand the way it is, because if it's their logo.
that's what's on their sign.
I do with, it's going to be it's going to be hard to see driving down with that. It runs into the yellow of the other. If they even had put the barbecue pit red and then the other yellow, it would have been different.
What about maybe thickening, if they can, the shading of the black around Dickeys to make that
Would help
that
a lot.
line weight maybe a little thicker and heavier,
be
so
good.
it could increase the visibility of it?
Yeah, because, and it's not it's not being picky, other than the fact we want them to see if people, they're there because they want people to see the sign.
On website, the Dickeys lettering is black.
With a yellow
Oh, is it?
background.
The yellow background.
It looks
It almost looks like the Best Buy sign. It's black lettering with a yellow background.
better. Yeah.
Pat, can you pass it by? Let's see. Oh, gosh, yeah. Except for, but there's a problem.
The reason we were okay with
because
the
of yellow
Best Buy was
background.
because the letters
Yeah.
on the logo were
They could still
bold,
do the,
black, and legible.
Very legible.
But Men's Warehouse, didn't they initially have, like, you were talking about, they had a black background
And-
with white letters, and we
Yes.
had them switch,
I think
So the white-
they had switched.
or they had switched to the white background, Men's Warehouse.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, for them, we normally, yeah, and we
Much
just wouldn't
better.
allow the yellow.
but yeah, you could, because this right here. They don't have to put it all over it. That's good.
Just a little.
Dickies is in black, then they might be,
Yeah, if that logo right there is theirs, then they would be better, probably.
Black lettering.
But, well, they can still do that yellow around it too. They don't have to do the whole panel.
If you all are agreeable with that, I mean, I don't think we're opposed to a splash of color around the barbecue pit. I mean, and we really do want them to be successful, but we
And
want,
be seen.
and that's it, and to be seen. We don't want somebody to pass them up. That's excellent. So maybe.
You could see
with
that,
the
that's
red-
eye-catching.
It is, but maybe with a white background
Yeah,
behind it.
what, but
you might
that's,
say to them, right now, what I see is barbecue pit. I don't even see Dickies.
exactly.
If they did it black, then maybe I'd see Dickies.
Yeah.
And suggest,
Oh, I agree. It's, match what's their logo on their website looks great. I mean, leave the red star, the red barbecue pit
Everything.
underneath. It's just, keep their style font, just go black. And if they want to do maybe just a touch of yellow
Yellow around
around
it.
it,
Yeah, that'd be good.
yeah.
make it more like their actual logo.
Match
'Cause
match
this one
what's on the
doesn't even-
website, and that looks great.
Yep.
Is there any further discussion? Do we have someone to form a motion on that?
I have Edwin's language captured, if somebody would like to make that a motion.
Maybe he needs to.
That,
Yeah.
It would be to keep the red underneath with the barbecue pit and even the red star, with Dickies being in black. I did note the white background to match the website, and maybe if they even wanted some yellow within the Dickies to kind of frame it up, then.
okay? You did make that motion, right? Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second.
That
All-
wasn't a Robert's Rule of Order.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So next on the agenda is the Farragut Village / Benchmark Physical Therapy / Blue Ridge Yoga and Mellow Mushroom.
Yes, sir. And since the agenda was posted, we've also had a revision that came in yesterday to add Little Bangkok onto
Oh,
this
yeah.
sign. While they're going ahead and fabricating the other 3 panels, they asked if it was okay to include that one also. And I feel like, I know you all had looked at the top 3 via email, but, and Little Bangkok,
They've been there forever, so
Yeah.
I was surprised that they weren't even included in the first place.
right, but I feel like their panel is very legible, just
Yeah,
like the
it
yoga. And staff recommends approval if you all are okay with adding Little Bangkok to that.
Case in point, see mellow mushroom, it's a yellow with some red around it. That could go back to that other sign with a little.
I'll note that too.
It looks good.
Is the yoga just a I mean, is that really the name of this yoga?
It's Blue Ridge Yoga.
Okay, so they didn't want to put the Blue Ridge part, they didn't have room, or they just wanted to
Really
put
want you to, I'm speaking for the business, I think they want you to know maybe what their product is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they didn't care about the Blue Ridge part.
They have channel letters above their business as you pull in, just past Mellow Mushroom and Benchmark there.
They're like staples there.
And,
Uh,
I was gonna ask you, I have not seen that Little Bangkok, sounded
Okay.
like you saw it before me, but this is a black, letters?
it is black letters,
No logo, no nothing?
no,
just that?
just that.
And you okay with that?
I'm fine with that, if the board is, and, I had spoken with Jessica at Southern Signs, and she said that the tenant was apparently okay with that. I'll let them handle their clientele, but. Mr. Mishu actually, owns the development there.
Oh,
My daughter has a yoga shop.
yeah, okay.
Oh, so you're the
That's reason
yoga.
I'm here.
Yoga guy, okay.
And, no, I'm not the yoga guy, my daughter. And so she had, I did not know about Little Bangkok. I came here to make a point that if there's a problem, I can talk about it, but Little Bangkok surprised me just now, so.
But actually, even, it's smaller letters and you can see every one of those, so that's good, the way
Yeah.
that you put it.
So I'm glad
Yeah.
that you're not having a problem.
And the sign has just been completed as installed, so in case some of you haven't been by there to see it. There's still landscaping to occur. They literally have just got the faces in, so. It's right out in
There.
front of Mellow Mushroom in a there's an island there. It's existing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
You
out
have to
next
go
to
in.
Campbell Station.
Oh, okay, I have to go that way.
Right.
Kind of flagging into Hardee's there.
All right, well, any further discussion on the Farragut Village sign? Okay, do we have a motion?
Happy sign.
To approve.
We have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Bye. Oh,
Yes.
You're too kind. Thank you, Sam.
All right. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is Shell, on 801 Campbell Station Road.
why did they want to change theirs? They just,
There, if you'll remember, back in, I want to say it was December, the same Shell down on, just in Loudoun County on Kingston Pike, also went through a change out on their sign. So it must be some type of corporate
Corporate thing,
branding
okay.
flip over. So now the one on Campbell Station's looking to change. It's really a revamp, utilizing the existing structures that are there, changing the background from gray to white, and then the letters are now a navy blue up there. And then there's the red V-Power, I guess diesel, if that's what that is. But we just wanted to note, especially in the minutes in here, that the changeable copy at the bottom does have to be a manual changeable copy because the initial submittal had an electronic reader board there. So we just
Okay.
wanted to be very clear that it would still need to remain manual, and this is the latest rendering as it exists today.
And we need landscaping installed.
And we need landscaping. The landscaping has
landscaping.
been removed. So as a condition, I guess you could say, of an approval, we would ask that the landscaping be reinstalled around this sign.
you know what exactly?
We don't, the sign has been there for so
I mean, the
long.
landscaping, are they going to,
They're going to propose
They
something?
can coordinate it with us. I
Okay,
know Mark
so-
has reached out to them.
so they took
Already.
it out, not to replace, they took it out to just take it out?
Yes, and
Okay.
it's been out for quite some time.
Okay.
So we feel like now is definitely the catalyst to get their attention to reinstall that landscaping.
Well, the numbers on the sign, the 801, is it the one rendering has it in dark gray, one has it in blue, and it looks like on the existing picture it's kind of a gray blue. Do you know what color?
It's kind of it's on the proposed,
Proposed. Because one of them,
Right.
it has it kind of blue.
when you see the actual PDF, which is in a sharper, it's almost like a deep navy color when you see it.
Check this out, like this is what
Okay.
mine, is it more like, because that looks,
That is the gray 801 that's currently existing. Yeah. That's just above that. It doesn't look like, and it's odd, it doesn't look like they're changing the addressing
On our-
panel that's
On our
above.
printout, it looks like it's a
No, they're
different
not.
color than what's on the
That's
screen.
how it appears here, because if you see up in the corner, it almost matches like it's the same, the 801 to 801.
They're actually going to have the 801 to match the Food Mart, the diesel, and the ATM on their actual sheet.
It appears by the rendering, they're not messing with the 801 panel at all.
Dark.
It's kind of a slate gray color.
they they do it in white to, maybe with even the blue lettering or whatever the Food Mart
Sure.
diesel and ATM are in? Because it just doesn't.
Yeah, to make it architecturally compatible, I think that would be justifiable.
Because when I was driving by, I actually noticed this sign, which was really odd before I got the packet, and it's very dark, and you can't see any of the lettering anymore. It's all faded because it's so old at the top. So I'm kind of glad to see that they're redoing it, but I don't think you would even be able to see that 801 if they leave that the way that it
So
is.
you're wanting it in white?
To match the rest of it, yeah.
White, and then
A
have the
panel.
blue, as the blue letters. That's a good idea.
Like the blue
Yeah,
letters at the top.
like the Food Mart and the Diesel and ATM.
Even red or blue letters would, I think, would look fine.
They'd probably want the letters of that, or the number color there to be different than the number colors
Right.
down here, so you didn't confuse anybody, but it would show up
So the
better.
blue would show up with the white background? Yeah.
It was a deep enough, like with this panel, it's almost, when you see the rendering, it's almost a deep navy color, not quite an admiral blue, but it's still got a blue hue to it. Certainly you all could recommend that it be consistent with the blue that they're utilizing in Food Mart Diesel and ATM.
Make it pop.
It's going to be more so for the emergency responders, I would think, that are going to be coming to it. Or if somebody in their Google
Mail,
app is looking
UPS.
for 801 and, it's turned left and it's sending them up the ramp and then they see the sign up there on the hill.
I actually like theirs better now. I mean,
So we have the changing the street address color, the landscaping, and ensuring that the gasoline price numbers are changeable copy, not digital, right? And, okay, and I did say landscaping, right, so,
changing the white background with the blue letters on the numbers.
address number. All right, well, having said all that, I'll make that motion then. So someone else doesn't have to say it. All right, we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, so the last item, first off, the item 5, landscape application, has been moved to the October meeting as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Significant changes to their site plan that has come forth from Planning Commission last week, so they've asked to postpone.
Okay. So we're at item number 6, which is another discussion on the charter and the bylaws for our board.
Yes, sir. And this is kind of to recap about what was discussed last month, and mainly as it relates to the proposed amendments to the charter and bylaws to allow for one non-voting youth member, and make some needed modifications to the documents that you all recommended as it related to majority, I think, and the time being 7:30, just some little housekeeping things while we're doing these amendments that needed to be cleaned up in that document. So, however, based on our directives from last month your all's directives from last month to clarify youth member as being a high school age student and a Farragut resident, staff has run into some difficulties in the way we would administer that, since that student will be appointed by the Farragut High School, Knox County school system, and we wouldn't have any involvement, basically, in who they appointed to which board. And in some cases, there may be an interested student and not even a Farragut resident that's interested in learning about the process. So, I guess we would recommend, and it's similar to what the Planning Commission did last Thursday evening, and if you all are agreeable or you have other modifications you want to be, but we would basically recommend approving the charter and bylaws as they're presented today, and you all also making a recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen that special preference be given to a high school-aged Farragut resident if they can. So your documents would stay the same, but you would go on record with that recommendation to them, and that's what Planning Commission has done also. If you all are agreeable to that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, now, will the school district appoint the person, or according to this, we will appoint the person?
I think they will give us a collective group of children to say who wants to serve on which board, and we will, honestly,
We'll see how it works.
we will have to see how it works.
Everything in order.
Okay.
I mean, the way.
So it's
okay, good.
possible we may have 2, 3, 4 candidates. It's possible we may have one
That's,
Right.
or none.
or none.
You know, that's a possibility too, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right.
I don't know.
Special preference.
If I was in high school, I'd be interested in,
Well, I think that they should have like a special, like bonus or points or something like that for their students too.
I think it would be a great civics lesson.
That's what we used to do.
I've got 2 Farragut grandkids in high school, at Farragut High School, and they could care less. I mean, to be honest, I think it will take a special student to be interested
Yeah.
in pursuing this.
But that's a shame though. I mean,
Well, and I really think my grandkids probably represent the
oh,
majority.
they do. It's a shame.
Now, you know,
They
and
do.
they're great kids, but they
But
just,
they're not interested in anything else.
somebody told them they had to come, they come, but.
Or if they got special points or something like that.
So this is gonna be, who did you say is giving us
The school board.
the school board?
Well, it'll be the system, whether that's a committee at the high school or just the high school itself.
So is it just Farragut High School?
It'll be from Farragut High School, but they may not be a resident of the
Okay.
town.
Okay. That's, so
Photo
it'll
or-
definitely be someone who goes to Farragut High
Yes.
School, but they may not. Okay.
Ship with the high
That's what
school,
I was curious. If it's
but
gonna
they
be
may not
countywide.
live within the town at
Okay.
all.
Okay. And I think that's okay,
Yeah,
because
I
I
do
mean,
too.
going to school here, you still have some
Hi to the community.
knowledge of the town.
and ownership, yeah.
Well, because actually, what that means is some of the people like Concord Woods and all that, they've been, like, that's where I used to live, were there. And if they weren't allowed to do that, some of them may be interested, and they couldn't because they weren't actually a Farragut resident. So that does make more sense now, actually. I thought I misunderstood, because I thought it was all Knox County was trying to do this, and that we may have somebody from Cedar Bluff or, Austin East or something like that was going to do.
The way it was explained to me is it's trying to build a partnership with the town through our Education Relations Committee and Farragut High School. So the students would be from Farragut High
Actually,
School.
have some people on boards, like, one of them, there's a couple.
The Stormwater Committee?
Yes,
Okay.
that are not Farragut residents, because that very same thing happened. They couldn't find or didn't, and they had to get some people that were like in Concord, outside of the actual.
Yeah, there are a few boards and committees that it just says the majority of the board has to be a resident of the town. Yes, ma'am.
If a non-Farragut resident is going to Farragut High School, are they paying tuition to go there? I mean,
Transfer into school.
The Farragut High School zoning, the Farragut High School zoning includes some parts of the town of Farragut and some parts that are outside the town.
Okay.
okay.
It's a county school, so they don't have to
There's
adhere to
often a common
town.
misconception that the Farragut school system only follows town boundaries, which is not the case since we're two separate entities, not like Maryville or Alcoa where they have their own individual school systems. So a lot of the students in Choteau area go to Farragut High School.
See, before I lived here, I lived in the Mirawaco.
Yeah, and so it's completely different there.
Yeah, because my son went to Mirawaco.
I will say, I had that same, it wasn't district as a countywide coming from that area also. You look at it with just the corporate boundary, so I understand that completely.
Well, in reviewing what the changes to the charter and bylaws here, I don't see anything, they look okay, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't see anything else at this
Fine to
point.
me.
He added,
Well, I have one question on the term of a voting member shall expire on the third unexcused absent. Has an excused absent been identified?
we've typically looked at that, and I can't speak from this board, but I can from planning commission and some other boards, if it's a short-term illness where somebody may be seeking treatment and out, and we're aware of that and have had open communication, we've looked at that as an excused absence. It could be. I mean, especially if somebody was having some type of health issue and needed treatment and weren't unable to, but knew that they would and wanted to continue serving at the end of that. We've looked at that really as an excused absence, just absence for the sake of absence and not being a participant. We look at that as unexcused.
All right, so we just need to have a vote on these amendments,
A recommendation, yes, sir.
okay? And then the recommendation that you stated earlier that I will not eloquently restate, but
If you are agreeable, yes, sir.
I think everybody seemed to be agreeable, so do we have a motion on the amendments as presented?
I'll make a motion that we accept the amendments as presented. The amendments to the Visual Resources Review Board.
Both the charter and the bylaws.
And bylaws, yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, well, that's the last item on the agenda for tonight, so I guess with that, we will close this month's meeting, or do you have
The only-
anything else?
The only two things I have for you all, just little housekeeping things really, is
Okay.
don't forget the November, December meetings have been canceled on the regularly scheduled dates, and so we'll meet December the 1st,
Okay.
which is a Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Okay.
right here. And then stream cleanup, it's coming to be that time of year again. So we had several dates. I don't know, would it be easier for me just to email those to you all and you see, just give us back some dates that may work. So we were trying to look at UT home football schedules and everything else. So knowing that a lot of people like to participate in those things. So, but yeah, we'll send those out to you guys. And that's all I have.
Sounds good. Well, with that, we'll close this month's meeting.
Thank you.
So next month's going to be a long.
Next month's going to be a long one. We already have 4 landscaping plans. The UT